Hi, it's Paula from Pola Quilting. Welcome back to my channel. I'm still working with my string blocks. If you haven't seen the last tutorial, I've been using a kind of strip sets made from the strings of various widths. As you can see, this rectangle is 10.5 by 3.5 inches, and I've used a black fabric. This piece is about 7 inches to kind of snowball on both sides, but we're doing it with pairs for this block. I do recommend have a look at the last tutorial. The link is in the description below. Now, when I was making those blocks, I actually was thinking about something else, but that other pattern kind of happened in between. So let me show you today what I was actually had in mind when I started those blocks initially. So those blocks, like I've mentioned, check out the last tutorial so you will get to this stage. I need to now open them up, iron, and I will square them up so I've got those blocks ready for the next step. I've got them ironed nice and flat, so I will just quickly trim them. I'm just taking them back to the shape of my initial rectangle. So nothing complicated here, because we're just going with the lines of that initial block. Now all of those black scraps are going to a bucket because I've got a design again ready to use them up. So if you carry on with this design and you're worried about a lot of scraps, don't worry, I've got you covered. So just keep watching. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that other tutorial. So just quickly trim it and we're ready for the next step. In last tutorial, to achieve this shape, I was snowballing or working with the opposite corners, and we're working in pairs to make sure we have one block of that corners and one block of that corners. Now for this design, you don't have to do in pairs. You could just snowball the same corner or opposite corners in one go, so it's even easier to chain piece, because we are going to be now snowballing the other side as well. So I've got my 7-inch long strips, and I'm not measuring anything, but I just want to make sure that I've got quite nice chunk visible here and quite nice chunk visible here. It doesn't have to be even, it doesn't have to be the same, you know, every time you sew. It can vary. It's going to be a kind of wonky romp in here, and that's the part of the design. So you can go more or less. The only thing you might need to do that if you go a little bit further here, when you open up, that black piece may not cover all your kind of space here. Just take another piece of black scrap, even the one you've cut off from the corners here, and just stitch and open again. So don't worry about how much you cover. You can just add another strip. Now the other thing I haven't mentioned, if you wish, you can cut out this corner here from under. If there's something you could use it for, by all means you can do that. Now I will leave it. I like layering and I like the seams because they're just adding extra dimension to the quilt, but that's your choice how you like it. So like I said, I'm just more or less coming up here, covering this corner here of black and this corner here of black. You want to stick out on both sides at least a quarter or whatever your seam allowance is, because at this stage seam allowance is irrelevant. As far as you stitch straight, what the allowance is, it doesn't matter, but you need to make sure you stick out at least for that same kind of distance. So I'm gonna use 1/4 inch because that's how I've got my machine set up, and I've got 1/4 inch foot, so it's easier. But again, at this point it doesn't matter. And just chain piece all of those blocks. You go again here. This is the other kind of opposite pair, but again the same principle. I want to stick out here at least for a kind of thickness of my seam allowance on both sides, and how far I go is up to me really. It doesn't have to be the same. So we're making wonky kind of romp shape here, and everything goes. When you're sewing on this side, it might be that your foot kind of push that side of the block, so just lift your foot when you get to that edge, and then you can kind of readjust and sew to the end. So I've sewn my one corner, and I will now do exactly the same thing on the other corner, and you just chain piece all of your stack in one go. Again, quite easy and quick job to do. Now, as with the previous step, I will take it to the iron, iron it nicely flat, trim according to the shape of the block, and I will be able to pop it on the design board and show you, one, what we can make out of those blocks, and two, what design I will choose for my quilt, and I give you a little bit more information about that. Before I show you my finished project, just a quick reminder where you can find me and how you can support my work. You can subscribe to my website to be notified when new tutorials, products or patterns are released. You can find me on my Facebook page, Pola Photo, or you can join my group page, Pola Quilting with Friends, where we all share work made inspired by my tutorials and answer any questions you may have. There is Instagram account called Pola Quilting, and if you like to share something you made based on my tutorials, please tag me using hashtag Pola Quilting with Friends. To support my work, please like, comment and share when you see my posts or tutorials. Let your quilting friends know about this channel and invite them to the group and subscribe to my channel. If you like to contribute extra, you can use super thanks on YouTube or buying me virtual tea, coffee or lunch available on my page. All links are in the description below. I would like to thank you all for all the support so far and letting me grow in what I do. Here there are my string diamonds or black diamonds, because it's kind that secondary pattern emerges when you put it all together as a black diamonds as well. So however you want to call them, there are diamonds involved in this design. They look very effective. I really like the black with it. It would work with any other solid color, like darker one, but I really like that black, and I'm happy that I was able to use it. You could replace some of the diamonds with plain black. That will be quite effective as well. You could also use another block in the middle there just to see how it will kind of look. It is nice block to also use as a border. You could make them, you know, fit whatever blocks you're making. It doesn't have to be 10.5-inch tall. It could be like I said, whatever block you've got, maybe 8.5 or 9.5 or 12.5, whatever design there is, and just use that to frame your quilt. I normally don't use borders. I just don't like making borders like, you know, as a one strip. So if I do make a borders, I make them as a part of the design, as a part of the sewing in blocks. I do have a tutorial about it, so I will link it in the description below. Now this design would also make nice table runner or something where you want to put something in the middle and you still want to have those blocks visible on the outside, but also it represents how that border made out of blocks could look like. So in the center you would have a yoke quilt or whatever design you've got there. So quite effective as well. So let me just quickly show you now what I did think about when I was sewing all of those strips together, and let's build that block now. So at the top you will have 5 pieces of blank fabric. Because my diamonds are framed with black, I chose the same color so they kind of blend in. So it's 5 pieces, 3.5 by 10.5 inches. Then we're adding 1 diamond in the middle and then framed with black. Then with 3, 5, 3 and 1 again, and you can see how that pattern now emerged. So this piece here will have 15.5 by 60 inches. It will make nice table runner. You don't have to have the top black bits at all, just that plain black. You can start from that 1 diamond, so that will make nice kind of table runner, or you can add another layer of the black at the bottom so it's even and it can make a nice end of the bed. Then you can work out also obviously cushions too much for it as well. Quite versatile layout. You can use it anyhow you like. So this is my final layout. I will have 3 of those wandering diamonds on the kind of together. My design board is just too small to show you all, so you can see 2. and they are offset, so the third one will look the same like the one on the left hand side. So it's gonna be working that way. So this quilt will be 45 by 60 inches, but obviously you could put them this way, and then you've got 60 inches width, and then you can make as many diamonds as you need to fill in the whatever length you want. So it's quite nice, versatile kind of layout for that quilt design. Thank you very much for joining me today for this tutorial. I hope you like the layout, I hope you like the quilt, and I will definitely share with you how it looks when it's finished. Any questions, please leave in the comments below and I will answer them as soon as I can. Thank you for joining, thank you for watching, and see you next time.